So hello everyone, this is Drew of Charting Memories Travel. Most of you know me as a cruise specialist, but I want you to know that a lot of other things that I work with as well. So today I have a special guest, Jeff Cesar from Rocky Mountaineer, and he's gonna help us to learn a little bit more about a really unique product that you might be interested in. So welcome, Jeff. Thank you for joining us today.
So happy to be here, Drew. Thank you for your time and really allowing me to educate your clients about a unique type of trip that's in this beautiful part of the world, which I'll talk to in just a second. So very excited to share all I know.
Awesome. So I know you've been in the industry for quite a while here. Can you give us a little background on you?
Yeah, sure. So I've actually been in the travel and tourism industry for 16 plus years. 10 of those years, I was with Norwegian Cruise Line. That's kind of where this whole thing started. So from the cruise line business, I worked on ships for 5 years up to the position as a cruise director, overseeing the entertainment on board. And then 5 years as a business development manager, overseeing the Midwest for Norwegian Cruise Line. Then I transferred over to Rocky Mountaineer, relocated. I now live in Southeast Florida. And have been with them 6+ years and just loving the ride of travel and tourism. I know this pandemic made it a little challenging and stressful for us all in this industry, but the good news is I think there's a lot of bright sunshine coming in the very near future with the vaccines coming out, with new rapid COVID testing. Things are looking like they're about to become more normalized, and that's me being optimistic, but honestly, just reading what the articles are coming out these days, I do believe that travel and tourism is going to come roaring back in the next 2021 season, which I think we're all very excited to get into the new year.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's not going to turn overnight, but it's the lights at the end of the tunnel now. So yes. Good things are happening. So let's jump right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about Rocky Mountaineer? Most of my people tend to know cruising, so this is going to be new to them.
Yeah, well, first, but even before I even jump on Rocky Mountaineer, I think all of you should rest assured that Drew here, he is a preferred partner of Rocky Mountaineer. He's an expert. And I'm just saying, he's probably going to know every single answer to any question you ask him because that's how good he is. But if you do stump him, I'm in his back pocket to be utilized. But I just wanted to, if you would call it, toot the horn and let you all know that you are working with a pro here. And so rest assured, this is definitely a true trip of a lifetime. And who are we? We are a train and tour operator based in the Canadian Rockies, and we now just expanded into the U.S. for the first time ever in the past 30 years. That's how long we've been operating, 30 years, privately owned. We have now just expanded into the U.S., which is quite exciting. But we are a luxury, fine dining, seamless travel experience where you never sleep on board. You stay in hotels every night. Because if you're sleeping, you're missing the sights, the scenery, the wildlife, the wilderness. And we're taking you to such beautiful places, both in the Canadian Rockies and now in the U.S. Rockies and into Moab, which is in the heart of all the national parks in Utah. So really exciting locations that our luxury trains take you to.
I love that you mentioned the sleeping part because, I mean, that's something that you don't really think about at first because I want to be on the train the whole time. I'm missing out. But really, if you're moving through these wonderful places and it's nighttime, you're going to miss out on it. And that's not something that just automatically that fits into your head. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, just to add a little bit to that, I mean, we're so different from the trains you may be more familiar with, such as Amtrak or Via Rail. Via Rail is a commuter train based up in Canada, taking you from point A to point B as fast as possible. We're nothing like those. For example, on Amtrak and Via Rail, you're sleeping on board, usually in a bunk bed, sometimes sharing a toilet. With Rocky Mountaineer, never sleep on board. The speed that our trains are traveling at on Amtrak and Via Rail, you're averaging 60 to 70 miles an hour. On Rocky Mountaineer, you're averaging 30 miles an hour. And we slow down to less than 5 miles an hour for all the bridges, the waterfalls, the wildlife, the wilderness. So once again, you're not missing anything incredible and amazing to take a picture of or take video of or just to take in and enjoy the sights and scenery as it passes by.
That's a wonderful thing to know too. So is that what you would say makes your trains unique compared to some of the other things that people might be more familiar with? Like
Yeah, I mean
Amtrak?
those definitely do add to it. To just add a little bit more on our train cars, we have outdoor veranda spaces on both classes services that we operate on, which means you're allowed to go outside. Some of the outdoor space holds up to 20 people. So really, once again, allowing you to go outside and take advantage of all the beautiful sights and scenery, breathe in the mountain air, and see the vistas, the canyons as you travel by. It really is a breathtaking view. When it comes to food on board, we really mean true fine dining. We have Michelin trained chefs cooking made to order food literally a few feet away from where you're sitting. And so it's a true luxury, like I said, fine dining experience from beginning to end. When it comes to luggage, we don't want you to burn any calories. We're going to take your luggage, put on a truck. The only thing to bring on the train with you is your camera, camcorder, wallet, cell phone, purse, ID, medication. Keep it light and keep it simple. And then when you get to places like in the Canadian Rockies, the US Rockies, before you even get off the train, we're going to give you your hotel room key. You've already been checked into the hotel. You're going to head over to the room and find your room. Inside your room, your luggage will be waiting for you next to your bed. The next day when you wake up, if you're boarding the train again, we ask you to leave your luggage exactly how you found it. You'll see it at the next destination. A true seamless experience from beginning to end, which is what we're all about. And all-inclusive alcohol, I think that really helps. Boy, there's so much more I want to say. I mean, it's such a night and day difference compared to what other trains are out there that you may be more familiar with. But the one other thing to add, I think it's really key, is how customizable we are. So all you have to do is go to Drew and tell him the budget you really want to work with, where you want to go, the dates you want. You can choose between 3-star properties and 5-diamond resorts. You can add nights, you can take away nights, add tours, take away tours. Like I said, work with your budget. And that's the best thing about Rocky Mountaineers. We're really able to customize our multiple packages. We have several itineraries, but take those as a shell and add your own spin to it. If you're a big fan of helicopter tours, and most of them are built in, that's great, but maybe you're scared of heights. Take the helicopter tour out, put another tour in its place, or remove it in its entirety and see the entire price of the package drop. It's all about doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, with the budget that works best for you.
So you just mentioned like helicopter tours. So obviously this and customization. So if you're the kind of person who wants to just sit and kind of relax and view the scenery, that's available to you. But if you're that adventure seeker, you have things for them as well. So that's
Yeah, it's tough to be something for everyone, but we really have done such a great job over the past 30 years, and it's just it's exciting to see all the different options we have available. Our average demographic, just to be honest with everyone who's listening to this, in the Canadian Rockies, we're looking at an average age of 62, 63, between 50 and 75, 82% married, 69% retired, so it's a little skewed older, but we don't just throw you on the train wherever we want. We look at the psychographics, demographics, and geography of every single guest that comes on board. So if a family's traveling with us, we'll put one family next to another family so the kids can interact, have similar interests. The parents can be like, why do we do this to ourselves? Just kidding. But no, but it really does work, and it impacts the socialization aspect on board. We really commonly use geography. So having you sit around other people that are from the same city, town, state, maybe you are the same alumni, the same university you went to, they're next to you. It really impacts the socialization when you have those common interests around you. And it's just a great way to, once again, meet other people in this beautiful part of the world that we're traveling and taking you to. And I think it's a win-win. And it's something why we've really been seeing such growth in, for one, expanding, but also just how we've been pretty much growing over the many years of 30 plus years of operating. So
awesome. So in your experience, since most of your passengers tend to be a little older, what's the younger side kind of limit that either that you allow or that seems like would be a good fit?
yeah, no, great question. So we don't have any kid rates or baby rates. Well, I've had a 6-month-old baby travel, and they paid full price for that baby, and I bet you it didn't have any steak, and that's just a shame. So I personally, to make sure the environment isn't really changing for everyone else on board, I wouldn't take anyone under the age of 5. I think that can be a little difficult trying to handle kids at a certain younger age, especially if you're on a train from 9 till 6 p.m., 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a long day, and yet there's so much to see and do. And I know our hosts and hostesses on board will definitely handle all different types of entertainment, storytelling, jokes. They'll give them coloring books. They may make a little contest. They do a lot of things to keep them interactive and excited about what's coming up ahead. But, you know, and I only can speak on the Canadian Rockies as we just expanded. We haven't started even operating yet. It's going to be coming later this summer in the U.S. As a preview season into the U.S. Rockies. I believe that's going to be actually skewed a little bit younger in the demographics due to the national parks out there. Also, the fact that I think there's a lot of younger adults who love to venture out to the West in our backyard of this beautiful country that we live in, the United States, and experience, you know, what's so close to home. Many people, especially due to this pandemic, are wanting to stay close to home. They want to travel domestically, and you know, I think it's a great opportunity to once again travel close to home in a place that's deemed safe in this world we live in. And if you are traveling in the U.S., there's nothing stopping you, honestly, except maybe a rapid COVID test. As long as you test negative, you're good to go.
Awesome. So you've mentioned different places. So what are some of the more popular routes, and you have a personal favorite?
Yeah, okay. So when it comes to first our Canadian Rockies, just to share with you, we have 3 different train routes taking you from Vancouver over to the Canadian Rockies, places like Jasper, Lake Louise, Banff. Those are all amazing cities nestled in the heart of the Rockies. You have a highway attaching all these different places together called the Columbia Icefield Parkway. It's been voted the most scenic highway in the world. You can do eastbound trips, westbound trips. I love going eastbound, starting in Vancouver and heading east, because when you head east, the hills become mountains, the mountains become glaciers, and the wildlife gets so much more abundant and climatic. Truly, it's like icing on a cake. The best is yet to come. Also, since, you know, maybe a lot of your viewers here are loving cruises, well, I've really seen a huge growth in the pre and post cruise tour market for this type of route, because you can attach an Alaska cruise right from Vancouver, whether it be a pre starting in Calgary and heading westbound, or a post starting in Vancouver and heading eastbound. And in 2019, prior to this whole pandemic, 49% of people who were on Rocky Mountaineer had a pre or post cruise tour attachment. So definitely something to think about, especially if you've already done Denali, you're looking for something unique and different. We fit that niche extremely well. So back to what I was saying about the Canadian Rockies. I do recommend, if you haven't been there, you have to check it out. You can do a one-way, or you can do a round trip after spending 4 to 6 nights sightseeing. And once again, Rocky Mountaineer handles all the hotels, the transfers, the tours, the meals, everything except airfare. But don't worry, Drew's got you covered there. He'll be able to help you with the airfare and really bundle everything together, giving you a trip of a lifetime. And after spending 4 to 6 nights, you can take a different train route, not the same route you went eastbound on, but another route taking you west back to Vancouver. So it's a round trip, or we call those circle journeys. Now to go to the U.S. route, the brand new one. We were actually going to initially launch this in 2022, but due to the demand that we really saw for domestic travel, we wanted to move this up a full year. And so we thankfully were able to get approved to have 40 departures. It's a preview season starting mid-August, August 15th, 2021, and going until October 15th, 2021. 40 departures going both eastbound and westbound, starting in Denver, Colorado, downtown Union Station, heading west over to Glenwood Springs, where you're overnight there for 1 night. And it's also a unique place. It's very resort-esque town. It's got hot springs, the biggest hot springs in the United States. And then continuing heading west over to Moab. We're the only train that takes you into the heart of Moab, which is in the heart of all the national parks. Of course, you have the Arches right there. You have Bryce, you have Zion, you have the mighty Colorado River, you have the Grand Canyon. We have 2 different transfers taking you from Moab over to Salt Lake City, Utah, or to Las Vegas, Nevada to fly in and out of. And so it's really a unique type of a trip, and we're doing it unlike any other train is ever doing it out there in the West. And we're seeing such a high demand on domestic travel. Just to be quite honest with your viewers, we're over just 2.5 weeks of sales. We've surpassed 3.6 million in bookings for this new route. So we really believe that if the trend continues, by the end of January, this may be sold out. Now, good news is, if you are looking to perhaps wait, in 2022, we should be starting to start selling our new routes in both Canada and the U.S. by January, February of next year for 2022. For the U.S., it's going to go from March until November. So you have a lot more longer season, a lot more opportunities. But next year in 2021, it's our first year. We're coming out of the gate. And it's just a great time. If you are interested in locking in a trip with us, especially in the U.S., everything for the first time ever is risk-free. And I know that might be one of your questions coming up, but if you don't mind, Drew, can I just share with you?
Go right ahead. You were right. That was coming up.
The terms and conditions have just been enhanced. And for the past 30 years, we've always been non-refundable. But for the first time, due to these uncertain times that we're in, we're making everything so much more flexible. It just takes $25 to put down to lock in the hotels, the dates, the inventory, the time you want to go, and the itinerary you want. That's it, $25 down. That's completely refundable. On January 31st, a 20% deposit will be due, but that will be completely refundable up to the next 60 days. So honestly, you have until the end of March 2021 to decide whether this is going to be great for me and I want to go, or you know what, I'm not feeling it. I'd rather all my money back that I've put in. No questions, no penalties, no issues. We're also giving you 2 free date changes. So let's just say, you know what, I really want to do it, but 2021 isn't looking great for me, whatever it may be. You can move it to 2022 or 2023. No penalties. It's really a much more flexible opportunity. And once again, $25 down to secure your space, the dates, the hotels, the itinerary you want before it is sold out. And it's completely risk-free. We also had that same types of terms and conditions for Canada. And just to make clear, we know the borders are closed, but we've heard some really good news lately. They should be opening hopefully by the end of January, beginning of February. If the vaccines that are promised to come out do come out, they're already starting to vaccinate with the Pfizer one, all the healthcare workers and such. I really believe that by beginning of next year, we're going to have a full, at least hopefully 2 vaccines that are going to be distributed. People are saying that by April of 2021, over 50 million U.S. citizens, people who want to be vaccinated, will have that ability to be vaccinated as long as everything that has been set up accordingly will be done. By June of 2021, if everything once again continues to move forward in the right direction, there may be a good chance of herd immunity. The Canadian government said that as long as the cases continue to drop, the vaccines are come out and help out those who are high risk, they are looking at opening the border by end of January, beginning of February of 2021. We're watching this closely. Please know that if you make a new booking or you've rebooked for 2020 to 2021, we are not going to make your next deposit non-refundable until the border opens. So please understand, we're gonna, if you will call it, move the goalposts. We're watching everything closely, but if you put a deposit down for a Canadian Rockies, that will stay refundable until the border opens. We'll be in touch with you along the whole entire way. We just don't want to put you out there saying you got some money out there that now you're locked into and you can't travel. We don't want that. It's all about low risk, high reward opportunity. So just peace of mind. If you make a booking with us, the U.S., if you're a U.S. citizen, we're going. We're operating. There's nothing stopping us. For the Canadian Rockies, we're want to make sure that we have the borders open so that whatever you put down, you're able to take advantage of and travel with us in 2021.
That's awesome. It's so nice to actually start to see some good news coming out finally. So if the borders are opening in like January, February, hopefully, who knows for sure, but when are the best times to be doing the trips? What's your schedule?
So in Canada, we start operating the end of April and go until right around the beginning of October. In the US, it's mid-August to mid-October, our first year. But in Canada, end of April to beginning of October is when we're operating. And just also to add, since I haven't really mentioned it, what we're going to do to help make sure that safety and health are the utmost importance at the time of operating, we're going to follow strict guidelines on whatever the CDC and the WHO recommend. So we're going to be checking everyone's temperatures. We may even have a rapid COVID test to share, which will help limit the risk, knowing that everyone around you has been tested negative, which is a win. We are going to have air filtration systems on board all of our train cars that kill 99.99% of all floating particles, bacteria, germs, all that nasty stuff. We are going to be checking, of course, everyone's temperatures. If they say social distance is recommended, we're going to limit the capacity on our train cars so we can maintain social distance. We have over 65 train cars, over 21 engines. We've been scaling and growing and adding new train cars over the past 5 years, almost like it was meant to be, that we knew that, hey, we knew, but God forbid, if this ever pandemic took place, we would be able to add more train cars, limit the capacity on each to maintain social distance, to make everyone feel safe and secure and have peace of mind when booking with us. So the biggest push in letting you all know that safety and health are the utmost importance, and we will follow whatever the CDC and WHO recommend at the time of operating. For Canada, end of April. For the US, mid-August.
Awesome. And just so people realize, the recommendations are going to change. So what happens today will be different than next month. What will be different in April. So, but the important part is to know that you guys are doing what's best for the passengers to make sure everybody's safe and still having fun.
That's exactly right. And fair point, Drew. Thank you for bringing that up, because yeah, things are going to change. You know, who knows what new science is going to come up with later on to saying this is the best way to handle this whole situation. And yeah, so we are going to adapt and do whatever it takes to make sure you have peace of mind.
So awesome. I thank you so much for telling us about this. Is there anything that we've kind of missed that you think is a must know for everybody? Or
I mean, I just can't all encourage you enough to definitely reach out to Drew. Not only is he a preferred partner, he's got so many great tools and resources to share with you all. He has great 1 to 2 minute videos on every single route, 1 to 2 minute videos on our service levels, 1 to 2 minute videos on the destinations we're taking you to, a brand new video on our new route. He's got great PDFs taking you to really giving you all the information about all the hotels we utilize for the most part, the tours, whatever you have questions about. He is your go-to guy. He's an expert. And so I just want to say, work with him, because you will be so thankful you did. He's got your best, really, he's looking out for your best, what you want to do for your trip of a lifetime. And he'll be able to do that for you and make sure that it works with the budget that you want to spend. So it's really a win-win situation, and just utilize Drew and his services, because it's bar none one of the best out there. So thank you, Drew, for allowing me to educate your clients on this unique type of trip of a lifetime. And hopefully normal will be returning soon. And last, I just want to wish everyone a very happy holidays, and stay safe and healthy these days.
And same to you, for you and your family and all your family and friends. So thank you very much.
A pleasure. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.